You're.
Call the order of the City of North Plains Parks and Recreation Board meeting at 6:01 on March the 13th. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lori, could you please take roll call?
Thank you. Chair Nunnenkamp,
Here.
Vice Chair King.
Here.
Member Burns.
Here.
Member Weber.
Here.
Member Bernards. And we have a couple vacancies, and your ex officio this evening is Counselor Trista Pateman. Here, thank you.
Consent agenda. So, does everyone have the time to read the minutes from January 9th? And if there's no changes or anything?
Yes.
So moved. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Public comments. Is there any anyone in the audience online or in person here that doesn't have anything on the agenda that they want to comment on? I don't see anyone.
Nope. They're all on the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and Dave Parker, your first time, Dave. Yes. Can you hear us, Dave?
There he is.
I can't hear you. But you do. Nothing yet.
No,
No, not yet.
now I do.
I think that was Trista opening up. A cup.
Oh, I don't hear.
Try a different mic. Well, no, it's gonna be the same one.
You don't see it unmute or anything on your side there, David?
No, it says I'm
Hey.
unmuted right now.
We
Oh,
got
you
you.
got it? Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay. I don't know what happened. Sorry. But yeah, so I think, I took a quick peek at the agenda. I'm not exactly sure if Doug was able to get the little handout out to everybody, if anybody had eyes on that, but I guess to kind of quickly recap why I'm sitting on here today. I had met with Bill and Andy at the city a while back now, probably about a month-ish ago, just talking about just kind of general what the why it's kind of all about, and kind of our initiative to kind of get out and to serve different communities that we are or hadn't served in the past. For those of you who don't know, kind of in the closest, I guess, YMCA presence or building that's kind of in the area is in Beaverton. So ever since 2016 or around there, I had been kind of operating out of the Beaverton location. And just kind of more recently in the last year or so, I was kind of tasked with kind of the development of YMCA kind of presence of programs and services out into kind of the western part of Washington County and parts of Columbia County up near Scappoose and St. Helens. And so I got kind of connected with Chris Barron recently too. He kind of gave me the suggestion to reach out to Bill and Andy and just start a conversation around what kind of the needs and wants of the North Plains community are. And kind of through some conversations with Bill and Andy, and then with Doug and Robin at the library, we kind of came up with some initial things that we could kind of, I guess, just try and kind of see if they were something that the community would be kind of behind or want to participate in. So kind of referring to what I had sent Doug and everybody, that kind of had three folds to it. One was kind of our standard youth day camps, kind of looking at more of the summertime, or I guess kind of the break time from when school's not in. Really focus more on keeping those a little bit more active, rather than kind of like a Lego camp or a cooking camp or something like that. Kind of looking more toward just like a plethora of outdoor games and activities, or flag football or pickleball or something that is a little bit more, sport or activity specific. When I was putting all these together, the Jesse Mays Community Center was the kind of the reoccurring location that kind of came up when we were having conversations of, hey, this would be a great space. There's indoor and outdoor space, kind of would be an all-encompassing for all the different things that we were trying to do. So the youth camps were definitely kind of the first thing that came to mind, kind of looking at timeline, with us really just starting actually the last couple of days of really hitting the ground and getting our summer programs kind of up and out there to the community. So that was kind of the first one. A second one was kind of more just geared around like family experiences, getting people out and involved in the community, kind of looking at almost the same, I guess, theme as one of the outdoor or the day camps with outdoor games and activities, just kind of turning that one into more of a family atmosphere around that, or utilizing some of the nature that's kind of around North Plains and trying to do a family scavenger hunt. And then one of the kind of more, I guess, creative ones that, to be completely honest with all of you, we have never actually tried before, but this urban homesteading adult or family class was one that just kind of came up with one of our staff, who would be kind of the one putting all the curriculum and everything together, and thought this would be a good opportunity to try something out like that, because I think one of the other things that we're really interested in right now is just kind of broadening our horizons. Again, going back to the Beaverton facility for years now, and even currently, we've been kind of known as like a basketball facility. If you've never been to the Beaverton YMCA, it's not your kind of typical swimming pool and all this exercise equipment and huge membership base. It's 6 full court basketball courts, and so obviously a lot of what we do is kind of driven around youth programming, and in particular basketball. Kind of before that was taken over by the Y, it was just known as the Hoop, and so that's still kind of what people refer to us as the Hoop. Being able to expand our horizons a little bit and offer these types of programming is something that we are really making it a point of emphasis this year with, the new communities that we're serving, like hopefully North Plains and Forest Grove and Hillsborough and all that, but also kind of under our roof in Beaverton too, not just solely focusing on the youth sports aspect or just the sports aspect in general. We are a YMCA, and the YMCA does way more than just youth sports. So that was kind of the long and short of it. Hopefully my mic didn't cut out and you guys could all hear me the whole time.
So is it mainly directed at youth then? Or do you try and get more, do you get into the adult or young adult with basketball and pickleball and stuff also, or is it just youth that you focus on?
Yeah, for the most part, it's youth. That's kind of our big, base of program participants and members right now. Is a lot of stuff is kind of catering to youth, but broadening our horizons is, I guess, a multi-fold thing. When I say it, it's the programs we're offering, but also who we're offering it to, and trying to kind of, I guess, focus more on kind of that teen tween age. I think a lot of our programs are kind of geared toward kind of the elementary school age up until like 5th, 6th grade, and then it kind of drops off. And so being able to engage those kids kind of K through 12 is another one of our focal points with what we're trying to do.
Okay. And I know you've been talking to Andy and Bill a bit also, and can you guys kind of explain how these programs will be put together? And I mean, would Y be doing a lot of that, putting that together and getting the information out? And what participation does it require from the city and stuff also?
Sure, yeah, I can speak to it first, and then if I say anything that's wrong, you guys feel free to jump in. But yeah, so when we are talking about providing YMCA programs like the registration and marketing materials and kind of communication with all the participants and parents, that all comes from us. As a YMCA staff member, we're kind of doing all the back end administrative work to get something up and running. From the city's aspect, really the big thing is being able to use the space, whatever that could look like. Without having a Y facility or somewhere with a Y logo on it to run our stuff, that's kind of our biggest hurdle that we're trying to get over in a lot of these communities, is finding the right partners and finding those organizations that are kind of like-minded in a way that, we're all here to serve the community, to serve the kids, to serve families. And so how do we work together to do something like that? And so, kind of from the more logistical work end, the Y will take care of pretty much everything. It's just the space is kind of the issue for us right now, is just kind of where are we actually going to do this? Where's going to be that place where we have that consistency? If it is a week-long pickleball camp, do we have the space where we can run, just say like 9 to 3 Monday through Friday for this week during the summer kind of thing? So yeah, I don't know, Bill and Andy, if you had any other things to add.
Do you use the elementary schools ever for these gatherings? Do you use the schools sometimes, or?
Yeah, in some communities, like we have relationships with kind of some of the bigger ones, bigger districts like Hillsborough and Beaverton. We're in their schools kind of operating some of our programs out of there. So absolutely, school districts are kind of one of those community partners that we do seek out. Sometimes it's a little easier to work with school districts in different communities, but they obviously have the right kind of locations that are conducive to what we're trying to do for the most part.
Yeah, because the other option I was thinking of is we have a brand new North Plains school, and a very nice, for an elementary school anyway, a huge, fake turf field that's not used very much in the summer. So, if there were need for something bigger, I didn't see anything on here with soccer. If you ever do that. I guess my other question is, what ages do you think of when you list the things you listed?
Yeah, so I mean, this is again just kind of like a initial thought or idea of what we could possibly do. So if normally how we kind of go about gauging the interest of new communities is putting out our own survey of just kind of like, hey, what do you guys want to see, that kind of stuff. So if you guys are hearing like, yes, we want like a soccer camp, like that's absolutely doable, especially on a big, beautiful kind of empty turf field. We can do that. It kind of depends on which program we're talking about getting going, but if we're just taking the summer day camps, for example, for the most part, that's kindergarten through 6th grade kind of thing. And depending on kind of the turnout and the numbers, it's the easy split would be like kindergarten through 3rd, kind of one age division, and 4th through 6th would be kind of the older one. Having kind of that wide range of kinder through 6th. Usually when we open it up to that, the numbers don't really work out in our favor, and we get a ton of like 6th graders, and we have 2 kindergartners, and that's not the greatest mix for having a camp for all week kind of thing. So
what did you have in mind, Andy? You've been talking to us for a little bit. Do you guys have something in mind that you wanted to start with? Or?
Well, Don, are you good?
I was just going to say, what I sense, on the people I'm around, is a lot of interest in soccer and learning. People that really don't know how to play much. So more the first group you're talking about, K through 3, quite a bit of interest in that. And again, we've got a lot of neighborhood people that play in that field over there, and they have kids, and So anyway, I just think of that as a possibility, because we've got a great field for it.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. Yeah, but David and I chatted about some of these ideas. It's at least 2 months ago. It was last year. I know that. It was back in 2022. So I had a few questions, and some of those related to Doug, some of it Don just hit on. Yeah, we can absolutely partner with you, David. I can be your point of contact to help get the word out and advertise and do some logo stuff. I know when YMCA partners with the city of Hillsborough for Parks and Rec stuff, they'll put their logo on it. So I am shameless. I will totally do that. We'll help promote that. Related to kind of the different ideas you have here, Don asked one that I was going to ask, which was, I think the new school would be a good partner for some of these. And one of the reasons is like flag football, for instance, nice big turf area. And for a summer event, there's a nice covered area too, where you can take a break in the summer. My kids do these soccer camps, like they did one at 53rd Avenue Park. Great, 3 big turf fields, but those kids there's no shade around there anywhere, and they were just burning in the blazing sun. So I like the idea of the school over there for some covered area. We have some here too, with the trees, but the school is a great option. By this summer, we'll have 4 pickleball courts, so I think that makes a ton of sense. Soccer would be good because there are plenty of North Plains kids that I see on soccer teams. My son plays on one of them, but they're a Hillsborough soccer thing, so there's North Plains kids playing on those teams. So a summer camp, I think could do pretty well. You get some kids there. The other thing would be timing. Now is the time when everyone is scrambling and filling up all their camps and stuff like that. And wife and I are just doing it over the weekend. So the sooner we can kind of make some choices, it helps people line out their summers for those without care a little bit better. So that means that's a question for David. There was a question about fees, like cost to participate.
Oh yeah. So I mean, obviously there were no prices or anything on there. We kind of go through our own kind of pricing analysis of kind of what we'd have to charge to kind of make sure we're being sustainable and covering everything that we need to cover. Now it's kind of a process that we especially need to go through when we're getting out into new communities, because the last thing we want to do is, hey, we're going to offer this really awesome program for just slap a number on there, $20. And then we realize, we can't be sustainable with that. So we want to make sure we're doing our due diligence on our end to, keep the cost as low as possible, but also make sure we're covering what we need to cover to be there for the long term. Some of the aspects that kind of go into that are obviously kind of stuff that's on our end, like staffing and, that kind of stuff. But, the other big one when we're talking about working with organizations outside of the YMCA is usually a rental fee. Whatever that looks like, for the school districts that we're in, or the fields that we're using, or the other courts that we're using, that kind of stuff. So, some of that, those details of what exactly this price could kind of end up being, would have to be probably a further discussion around, all right, if we want to use the elementary school turf field for a soccer camp, what's kind of the rental rate, or kind of what are we looking at fees wise to kind of use that space too. So
I got one more question, David. When you do these new activities and new communities, I mean, you're setting a price, you're kind of taking the risk, obviously, but from a couple of factors, you don't know what the costs are going to be. But from a participation standpoint, do you have any expectations? Are you trying to reach a number before you go ahead with one? So, for instance, if you did this flag football one in North Plains, would you have, is there a certain number that you have when you guys start these? And
sure, no, that's a good question. I think we take that in consideration with anything that we're starting, especially from scratch. I mean, the closest one and the most recent one I can point to is what we started is with our our after school enrichment program up in Scappoose, which was kind of an everyday after school thing for kids. And we kind of went into that with the notion like, hey, we're shooting for 20. Like our goal is to get 20 kids in here consistently every month kind of thing. And we started out with 8. Like we had the first couple of months, we had 8 kids. And so, our goals and kind of that's what we're trying to hit is definitely a factor into how we go about kind of creating that price and kind of from the budgeting and financial aspect. But you know, when we're dealing with a new community, we understand there's going to be some possible growing pains. And so, you know, obviously trying to run an all week camp and kind of an all day camp for a week out of summer is really tough with like 2 kids. But hey, if we have enough to make it worthwhile for the kids that are in it, like we're going to do it, especially for something like this when, you know, we really do want to build a relationship rather than just run kind of a one-time thing in the summer and then, hey, maybe next year we could do the same thing. We kind of see this and trying to get stuff up and running this summer, whatever that looks like and whatever makes sense for both of us as kind of the beginning to a relationship with the city of North Plains and the community out there. What more can we do as we kind of move forward? So I guess that was a really long way to say there's not really a set number that I guess any of us have in mind of like, hey, if we don't hit 30 kids, like we're not going to be able to do this kind of thing. So
I have another question too, as far as you guys having the instructors and stuff and supporting that. You look for support out of our community also. You look for parents or other people that want to be involved, or is that not something you look for?
yeah, no, absolutely. I think, you know, either from kind of the employment perspective or even the volunteer perspective, you know, we're open to all of that. Obviously, we'd like to have somebody there. You know, if they're an employee, obviously they're a YMCA employee, so they're going through all of our, you know, safety precautions and background checks and trainings and all that stuff. And so, especially when we're off site, we want to make sure we have somebody there that's kind of our lead, I guess, if you want to call them that. So that kind of point of contact for parents if there is an issue, making sure everything's set up, we got what we need kind of stuff. But yeah, kind of going and utilizing some of the talents that are in the community to kind of bolster some of these programs. Absolutely. There's definitely ways for people to get more involved than just kind of showing up and dropping their kid off kind of thing.
And I got kind of excited about it because we were given the title of recreation in the Parks Board here quite a few years ago, and always kind of struggled with trying to get something off the ground recreation wise. So I think this is a great fit for our community and our parks, and I think everyone. Do you guys have any more questions?
I was just gonna say, I imagine it hasn't been done yet, I'd be willing to help do it, but I think if we could reach out to the schools, we've got 2 and then the West Union one is kind of connected to us too. I think it would be interesting, I know one of the principals up there, and see what they would like to see. You know, they might say, because I've seen where they've got some basketball teams for 5th and 6th graders. If they say we'd love to have some more basketball coordination, if we could get them engaged with us and get them to donate the fields and the facility.
Engaged with one is really.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then if we could connect them to you, I think that would kind of fill our numbers, because once the principals start to know their, you know, that pipeline of kids, I think would be one of the things. I'd be willing to help do that as far as just gathering data. You know, what do they think would be best, and would they, if, you know, you have to rent the field, but there are ways, if you go through that, there's no charge, and that would be, I feel like that would keep your cost down, and then you could charge less. I mean, obviously, parents that put their kids in stuff are going to react to if this is cheaper and more expensive.
Mm.
Kelly, do you have any questions today? No?
No, I mean, that was first of all,
Susan, do you have any?
I am in full agreement. I have 2 children in this target demographic. Schools even have been meet.
Great. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, David, let's just follow up. This is Andy. Sorry, I'm off screen now. Let's just follow up sometime this week, and we can start getting a lot of those logistics taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I'm sorry, I kind of missed the name of who was talking when they were talking about that relationship with the school district, and kind of brought up a point that I wanted to make sure to hit is like, you know, especially with kind of what I was doing over the last year or so now, coming into these new communities, I never wanted to kind of seem like, hey, I'm with the Y and the Y does this, X, Y, and Z. If you guys want X, Y, and Z, great. If not, we're going to be moving on. So having more conversations around what exactly is going on with the school district, kind of what's working for them and how the Y might be able to come alongside and kind of help out is absolutely a conversation that I want to have before we kind of go full bore at offering something. That was kind of the route that we took when we got our recreational Forest Grove basketball league up and running was, through conversations with the school district out there. We found out that the two high school coaches at Forest Grove High School were trying to run an entire recreational basketball league on top of all their high school coaching duties. So we saw that as an opportunity to be like, hey, we can kind of take this off your hands kind of thing and kind of help you out so you guys have more time to focus on, that pipeline with the youth teams, but also your main role as like the high school coaches for your season. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Wanted to make sure it was understood that the stuff that I actually sent you guys this time is absolutely not the only things that we can do. If there's input and wants and needs for other things like a soccer camp or a basketball camp, whatever it is, 9 times out of 10, the YMCA is going to be able to figure that out. I've got a really great staff team now that is very creative and knows what they're doing. So for the most part, I want to make sure that's clear. We can figure stuff out for sure. So
Okay.
yeah, let's follow up.
All right. Thank you very much, David.
Yeah, appreciate you guys' time. Thank you.
Yeah, and I noticed the agenda that went out, it didn't have the YMCA and stuff in there. But it was in an earlier version of it. So,
Amazon.
did you see it?
Yep.
Okay, did you guys see it all?
It's posted to the web.
It's on the one on.
No, I meant the documentation,
Something just cached or something.
like this information and this information.
Oh, I didn't even have that.
You didn't have this again? Oh,
I just had that one sheet that's just lists the,
That was yeah, that was something he shared with us in the previous meeting.
okay.
So
yeah,
yeah.
I didn't get that.
The only thing I got was this.
maybe this one that Dave sent me. Oh, that's all. Okay, so I'll make sure you guys saw it, so. Okay. You got that. So I understand that there's no one else online right now, there?
It's just us.
Mm-mm.
Just us? So I understand Cindy's not gonna be able to make it tonight. I
Right.
was gonna move her up in front of the applicant, but that's not gonna happen now, so, but we're gonna try and have her back next month or something. So we have we have 3 applicants because Katie dropped out. So she's not one of the applicants anymore. And we have Zach in the audience here. So why don't we bring Zach up first? We'll talk to Zach. And you want to come up and put in there? Yeah. And kind of let us know what you why you'd like to be on the board and stuff. Sure.
Sure, no, that's okay. I'm used to this part of the deal as well. You guys are okay? Yeah. Perfect. Well, I'm Zach Gainer. Thank you guys for having me here. I guess we'll start with a little bit of my background and I will see my interests in being here today. I was born and raised in Tigard, Oregon, so not too far from here. After high school, I moved to Canada, played junior hockey there, and then was fortunate enough to go to play NCAA hockey out in Wisconsin. So I went to school out there. Got an undergrad in sport and recreation management, and then my master's degree for Wisconsin in management of international business. And then from there, I went on to teach at the University of Concordia and Marian University as well for about 7-8 years, teaching different business courses, science courses, health anatomy, those kind of classes as well. And then I also coached NCAA hockey for 14 years. And the pandemic hit, and it was a situation for me and my wife and my family. I have a 4-year-old as well. One of the reasons why I wanted to be here too was kind of a reevaluation of life and really what I wanted to do. So my wife got a job with PCC here as a director of dual enrollment for students in high school that take college courses. And students that are in this area would take all those through my wife. She's the one that checks them all off to make sure they're can go through. So she ended up getting a job, and I got a call from the Portland Winterhawks asking if I can help with their youth program. So I run their youth hockey program here in Portland. I am brand new to North Place. I just moved here in November, so it's not too long ago. I was staying with some family and with my mother-in-law, Beaverton, when I moved here for a job in Portland. And that's I just moved to new development a few blocks away, just across the street there. So for me, it's something that I really want to be a part of. Everywhere I've gone, I've had some sort of involvement with the community, whether it's with youth hockey programs, youth sports programs, working with different schools, helping out their other facilities and different events. Those things as well. So this is something that, although I haven't officially been on the board, I have been part of different organizations, different charities and things like that to help give back to the greater community. Kind of seeing what North Plains has to offer to me is something that's really exciting to be part of. Read through your guys' initiatives online. I've been several different parks, and some of you guys have raised roughly $8.5 million to be given back to the community in different areas over the next few years. To me, it's something to be excited about and want to be a part of, and want to hopefully they'll provide some input from an outsider as to what maybe things that you can do that are different than what you guys have traditionally done before, while at the same time too trying to make sure that the community best fits everybody from a sport and a recreation part, as well as different park perspectives, and how we can continue to progress everything moving forward here. So for me, it's an opportunity to give back. Be a part of this, and something that I would like to really work with, whether you guys select me or not. I would like to volunteer my time in all this in a way that I can to help you guys out.
Thank you. Any questions, Kevin?
Really, I just want to hire.
Sure.
I'll talk to you later. I'll introduce you. I have a neighbor who played minor league hockey.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of us around here still. A lot of people around the area.
All right. And
I almost had one more question.
we come back to you.
Yeah, come back.
All right, Patty?
I really don't have any questions. He pretty much answered everything that I would have asked him.
Done?
I'm excited. Grateful you're interested.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Okay.
Look forward to knowing you guys.
Krista, did you have any questions for him?
No questions, but I would just love to clone you and your excitement. to volunteer in the community. So thank you for stepping up.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So, no issues making the meetings or I mean, you can meet Zoom sometimes if it's necessary, but we'd love to have you in person type thing also.
Oh yeah, I'll be here for every absolutely.
If we would have known we were going to live in Brindle, we could have pushed for an ice rink.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as I say this, I'll be honest, there maybe some insider information. They're looking to try to build new rinks in the area as well. So they're looking in Oregon City. They're talking about looking down in Salem, as well as potentially in this area, Hillsborough as well. And maybe a potential opportunity for you guys there too. There's a really big need for hockey. There's literally not enough ice in the area, and I know the Winterhawks we're trying to do whatever we can to create new opportunities. It's been a struggle since I was when I was here, and finally have the right people that can provide money and are willing to step up and create those new opportunities for our youth, and something that could potentially be market here as well.
Staff, you have any questions for him?
Well, I would just echo, not just hockey. My daughter does ice skating. We go to Sherwood once a week, every Wednesday. And then I was just there on Saturday, and it is packed. There's just people crawling all over each other to get ice time. So I agree. My wife didn't know that Hillsborough was going to do a new baseball stadium, and I told her that the other day. She was like, almost wrecked the cars. What? They need to be building an ice arena here. So she'll be part of the board if you want to do that.
Absolutely. I know that Hillsborough has been talks, at least I should say, so they have been talks with the Winterhawks. So
Don't surprise me.
it's
Yeah.
actually moving the team out there as well. Into that pretty much something else in there. EMC downtown is an older dated building, nothing's up to code. The moment we started to put stuff up to code, now you look at the run. So
Well, if your higher ups are looking for land out west,
yes.
connect me with them.
Okay.
We have a land expansion coming, and yeah, we'll have room for institutional and park and recreation activities.
Absolutely, I can definitely do that. And then pass you a picture on my boss, he would probably not argue.
Your position doesn't hinge on it, but
And it's,
Do you have any questions for us then?
I guess, what exactly does this position entail? This would be potentially my first board appointment, but what would you be looking for from me?
You're seeing a lot of it right now, really, so, you basically focus on parks and land and trying to create activities and stuff has been a struggle for us, so I think you'd be a good person for that. Yeah.
I'll say one thing. A lot of the issues in the past has been kind of, funding constraints.
Sure.
But as we try to get more creative, as we grow, as we look to maybe find new revenue sources, I think a parks and recreation director in some capacity is definitely on the horizon here in this community.
Sure.
And this board would definitely be involved in that. Everyone here is a volunteer, and that means sometimes part of this board being volunteers and mean showing up to an event as a volunteer or trying to find other people to be jazzed about something. Patty is one of the super volunteer corrallers, probably she gets a lifetime award in North Plains. But few of the things we'll be talking about tonight with some different events and concerts in the summer this board is involved in. And then with the land expansion, urban growth boundary expansion I was just talking about, there'll be some future parks and trails planning, probably starting later on this year to kind of look for the next 40 years of growth too.
It's very exciting, very exciting. Yeah, it's amazing that they even look through and to read the stats, you guys plan on roughly in 2035, 6,000 to 7,000 people being here and the growth. I mean, there's a lot of need for opportunity and provide more parks and for recreation opportunity. It's a growing need. Pickleball is a fast growing sport. It's exciting to see you guys are putting 4 courts right outside. Bring more people in, get more people outdoors, and in the time of COVID, people want more and thirst more for these opportunities. So very exciting that should be a part of it. Like I said, if you or not, I still would like the opportunity to hop on it like that. All right.
we have a lot of empty land that floods, we just have to figure out how to freeze it.
There you go.
There you
All right, thank you, Zach.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so. Who else is it? Brian, so there's application here, he's online or not here for?
He's not, he was gonna be out of town and,
Oh, yeah.
he does own a business right down on Commercial Street. He does brine-free woodworking,
Oh, okay.
in one of the metal buildings with the murals on
Okay.
there.
My big thing is just making sure that he can attend. the meeting.
Well, and when I talked to him a few weeks ago and I said, that he didn't make it to the last meeting and I said we didn't have a quorum anyway, and he kind of hemmed and hawed a little bit, so I'm not sure that he's 100% still interested, but he said, I'll be in Hawaii, I think is what he said for this meeting. And so I said, well, you may get elected without even being here, so be ready if you come back, you might be on the park board. So.
I think he would definitely.
Is this one in city council on Monday? Is it the plan? Probably.
We can do a consent agenda for at least for one appointment.
I mean, I've got a question, is it super complicated to expand
Yeah.
7 to 10?
We don't need one, Ken.
I don't think we want, I think we need to do the full membership to begin with and see how they go. We haven't had a full membership for a while. Active membership. And
Yeah.
That's.
The thing is that what you have to do to get more, you have to go back to council. The council has to approve.
We gotta pass an ordinance.
Yeah.
We gotta amend the code, we gotta do an ordinance to expand the
Yeah,
membership.
it's,
The other way to do it, I was looking at, the simpler way, it said in the rules that the mayor can appoint members of this who are on it that don't vote. But realistically, we don't hardly ever vote anyway, so there might be a way without having to deal with the code to just put. Because my only observation is there's just not enough. I mean, on average, with 7, we're gonna have 5.
Well, that's-
That's been
yeah.
a problem, and that's what I'm saying. we're gonna bring it back up to a full membership.
Yeah,
And then if we feel we need to, then we can talk to, a board and see if we want to expand at that time. So let's get there to a full board to begin. We don't want to just,
Well, what I'm saying is we could accept those who want to be on it. Some can be put as, there's a category there for, members. I looked it up on the link. And they would be members of this group of here that can be affected. They would be able to vote, but realistically, we don't ever vote.
we make recommendations to that.
Exactly. Exactly.
So let's wait. I think, what do you guys feel about all you want? Membership?
I think we should,
Hmm.
and I think.
You're
I
right.
think we need to do that right now.
Word it, but I think we have to be strict with each board members.
Mm.
And if they're gonna be on this board,
So
they better show up,
copy an old one.
because the rest of us do. And,
I don't know, we struggle with that
Yes.
with
it's very lenient.
a few members.
And I think-
So how many do we have right now that have been coming like that?
We're looking at,
Yeah, four.
Well, and
So,
Joanna was
was
coming
regular.
regularly, 5.
Yeah.
There's just been 2 that started with COVID and they both had their families had babies during that time, so they attended by Zoom for a while and, yeah, and so, and the
what is
one,
that?
Michael's one of them, but
I
yeah,
don't
so
think I don't know how to know him.
Emily
Anthony, I know
emailed Doug and,
Michael. I mean, because my experience of being with groups like this is I never have to send people, but if you miss 4 out of every 5 meetings, I just say it doesn't look like they call me on the group, so.
And let's get back to a full membership first, and then see where it wants to go. We'll talk about it as a group from there, but let's don't decide to go with what, 10 members in the
Well, how many openings do you have?
We have 2.
What I'm saying is we like to have one person that it's not working for, in education gap, and do that. Like with Michael, has anybody just said to him, it's gonna work? And
I've been writing an email. Often. He does not respond to anything. He's also on the,
Foundation.
Foundation board.
Cindy, I was gonna talk to her tonight about. I don't know how often he shows up there, but when I talk to her, she's gonna have to step down from that also. And his board, timing right now is done in June,
his term is up the end of June,
so.
his regular term, so.
So then we'll have another one at that point. To fill.
I mean, that's the only reason I bring it up now is because I like the idea we've got this energy, somebody, people who want to be on this, and I hate this chance to miss out. To replace somebody who's not even coming.
I think that we want to wait until we get our membership up to begin with.
Well, I'm saying the same thing you're saying, but if you've got, what we're playing with now is 6. It's 7 years a year.
Look at the percentage. We'll get there.
By June,
Now, are we, what you're saying?
No,
by June,
not until March. So,
By
You're gonna
June.
Let him finish.
unless he'll talk to her, unless he'll call us, or he'll respond to her. We can always have pencil just mix it if we have to.
From a timing perspective, you usually, you advertise for a month. Pretty soon we're into May. His term is done the following month. I think the transition will kind of
mhm,
follow
So
accordingly.
maybe we could have, and we tell someone that we'd like them for this open spot that's coming and we're going to use 3. So you're saying we could take 2 out of 3,
Definitely take care of it.
or maybe the third one, I mean, see what everybody says, but I was fine with all 3. Maybe the third one, we could say, we should be one that started in 4 months or whatever.
We can always notify them if that position becomes available. We can always notify. At that point. Okay. What do we want to do with Brian Freak here? Do you guys have any concerns or questions or? I mean,
he told me he was gonna be in Hawaii.
It's not good enough.
You know, people that go to Mexico and all.
Hey, now. Doug, do you want to ask who that is who joined?
Is there someone on right now?
Yeah, someone joined.
Someone joined on Zoom. Who is that? Your mic is off if you're answering.
It must not be.
May just be observing. Might just be observing.
Yeah, that's true. That's okay. Thank you. What would you guys like to do with Brian? Do you want to, recommend to the council? What would you like to do with it? Do you want to wait till you get to talk to him again, or do you want to just move forward with it? I like what he has to say in the application.
Who is the one out of four that said they weren't interested? Is that what you're saying?
Katie.
So, Katie, yeah.
Okay, so
And I'm not sure that Iris would be able to attend every meeting. She doesn't drive.
I mean, I would recommend we take the two guys that we talked to Iris about, maybe as much as you foresee, in the summer, that she could apply for them, right?
Yeah, because she hasn't replied to, I invited her to both the last meeting and this meeting, and she doesn't reply.
Let her know there'll be another summer, but then 2 weeks, right? So,
You guys want to, what do you guys want to do? You want to recommendation or go to Brian and Zach and council? Is that the consensus that we?
Consensus?
something we did want.
So their recommendation will go before city council Monday night at the council meeting. You don't have to attend. It's goes under the consent agenda if they've never not approved someone that has been recommended. But if you want to, you certainly are welcome to attend and introduce yourself. Well, yeah, and they would love to, one of the councilmen, his wife is the volunteer coordinator in town for all the events. She'll have your number in no time. So, yeah,
What time is that?
that is Monday at 7 o'clock here.
Okay, so we have the two going to council. What else do we have? Maybe we'll have Cindy back next month then. We'll hopefully.
What did we say happened to the Katie? You just-
She just
Withdrew.
pulled her, yeah, she
Which
withdrew
is
her
rude.
application.
All right. Moving on to 9A, comfort in the park update. What do you have for it?
Well, so for, the first event, we have 4th of July. I fired, Mitch and his band.
Okay.
I had another concert set for September. And that band backed out. Their problems. So I have contacted another band and I'm waiting to hear back. Very good sound, so, I'm waiting to hear back from them.
And we're trying to get it to you right now, is that right?
Well, we have, in June, we're going to have the celebration.
Right, for the 60th.
Yep, we have, Johnny Lingle and the Lugnuts. So that's June 1st. We have the 4th of July, then we have Garlic Festival. And then the other group that I contacted, I asked about September 9th, I believe it was,
So who's doing for?
Mitch.
Mitch's, okay. All right. So then, yeah, Garlic Festival, so we're just gonna have two then right now, right?
Well, the anniversary one is kind of
No,
Yeah.
I meant both, but
just,
Yeah,
just,
yeah, I
yeah,
would, I don't know if there's enough time in between, I mean.
right.
you'd have to stick it like in the middle of July or a couple weeks after the 4th,
Yeah,
I think. So that's in between the 4th of July and Garlic Festival. That's
We don't have to, that's still
Yeah.
for,
Yeah,
big.
Yeah.
If this, other one doesn't work out.
I, could, or I do have another name.
Oh, do you? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Good. How do you? So normally we would have a free band, we normally would have the celebration thing, but.
Right,
So what I'm asking about right now is the budget. Because we have a budget coming up right now that we do for the next 2 years.
right.
And what do you think? Are we attracting the bands that we want to attract right now? with the funding that we have? Do we ask for more funding?
Yes.
Do we-
Yes, I think
Do
so.
we want to do some more things with the parks and stuff too that may take?
I think. Did we, what are we at right now, 4,000?
Yeah, that was something last year, I think, too, in one dimension. Is that right? About the last-
We have a little bit left over.
Yeah.
to go.
I mean, that's not how our budget works, but yes, we're committed to whatever we said before, $4,000, I think it was.
But we have a budget coming up here, and we're gonna ask for more money, that now's the time we need to ask for the next 2
But then the new
years.
Oh,
fiscal
for the-
year starts.
Starts in July,
So
yeah.
anything we have now,
Right, but if we need more funding for years to come,
right, now.
we're gonna be 2 years out if we think we need a little bit more than that. So, I mean, what do we wanna ask for, though? I mean, we're not gonna ask for that.
My recommendation is double it. I just want to see.
If-
You know something?
Yeah.
I mean,
All I can say is, yeah.
there's things that we can use that, if we want to do concerts like recreation. That we can use some of that money for recreation also. So, if we need to help fund some stuff with the Y or some other
Mhm.
projects or something like that. Can we split it like that and just say we want it for concerts and recreation?
Yeah, this part of the way this is working this year is we had some ARPA money we can use for this, some of the COVID American Rescue Plan money, so that works out well. We still have relatively no parks budget until there's a ballot measure out there that would help with this for police and other general fund services, but we're still in the same situation. We've talked about we can easily do the same allocation, and Patty, it'd probably be good for me and you to get together to talk about what's trending with acts, kind of what the costs are these days. If we want to aim higher or do something better that we think will increase participation, I'm all for entertaining that, no doubt. And then we've also talked about sponsors, every now and then. And I think if we do 3-4 events a year, we get one business sponsor each one, get a banner. I mean, I feel pretty good if we can get the business community to support that. But yeah, I mean, we're not talking, $2,000. We're talking about, a few $100 to help subsidize or offset or underwrite, each concert. So that seems doable.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I think it'd be good for you and me to get together, and then I know, what we've been doing, $500 doesn't get you much, but, because I think it's kind of broken down that way in past years.
I want to make sure that we continue to support what we're doing or have been doing. And, everything's kind of gone from price, we all know.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not really doing anything recreation wise right now too. Maybe there's some things that we can participate in. that
Yeah, well-
isn't super expensive or anything.
Well, that's why the Y is exciting. It's kind of a partnership, but we can
Right.
work together and deliver some of these things. But I've been wondering, Hillsborough, the Tuesday night markets, they used to have 2 stages and they went down to 1. And I'm wondering if we're up all of those acts, because they used to have some pretty good bands
Well, they still do
well, during COVID.
Shoot Park used to do a band every like Tuesday or
Yeah.
something. I don't think they still do that,
No, I saw Norm Sylvester out there, but that was before COVID too, so. I'm not sure what they're.
They have like a little stage. at, Shoot Park.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah. No, I've been there for a couple of
Yeah.
things. Yeah. They do concerts in the park or flicks in the park over there. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's another one we've,
Okay, too.
yeah, we'd have to bring in some special equipment for that, but where to do it out of this, no, wouldn't be- I'm thinking of that because they have a big wall, you know,
Well, this one has a nice wall over here.
that one, yeah. Concert at the school park or something like that, but that's what you need. I know, I know.
Yes.
We've,
Maybe that's one thing we need to look at in going to one of the parks. Like that, we can do stuff like that.
Yeah, every time you use the school for anything. Now, the Easter egg hunt, I get done through the fire department, and the school district does not charge the fire department for my insurance as well, so.
I've done a facility permit at the school before. They didn't charge us. That was 4 years ago. Then
Yeah, see, it's changed.
everything
then.
since it's probably
First
changed.
time I
Yeah.
think they charged was, not last October, the October before, for the,
Trunk or
Halloween
treat.
event. Trunk or treat, and the PTO had to come up with, I don't know, it wasn't much, but regardless, it's a lot of money, so. Get that. Get that.
I mean, I think sometimes you can get around with like the board and why they do a sports camp, for their kids,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is right.
Right. But put it like, so we do something like that, you will do it like on the website of it. You have that draft here and
Burn out there.
Yeah. I'm thinking about.
So, hopefully I will hear back from this band soon. And, they said I really like their sound, but, if not, I have another one that I can contact. And,
So you'll get together with Andy, talk
She
about.
didn't say that.
budget.
She likes it.
Yeah, she just.
Okay.
Be off for all we know.
It doesn't matter, well, for the 4th of July, it'll be here for, it's a guard. For the 60th anniversary, that's down. We're bringing the stage and.
Mhm.
No.
I think we said to wait a year.
Yeah.
Too much construction going on. Yeah.
So the September concert, we have our.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
I think it's good that we do that there. I think it brings us together. Yeah. I think they enjoy it. I see a lot of people coming back to that. So,
Yeah.
you know. I know, I do. Down the hill. All right, anything else then on, concert or the ice cream service?
Green Social, so that's gonna be June 1st. In downtown. Meeting today and you couldn't make it. The street will be closed. All day. In preparation.
Oh yeah, because they have a long setup.
Oh, yes, they do. Just the stage and the tent will be probably 4 to 5 hours setting that up.
Okay.
And then the group itself is like 3 to 4 hours. Just to get it then set up.
Right?
Yeah. And so, Gary Hoffman, who is the lead in that group, he's going to be coming out with his sound guy. Hopefully next week. And we'll walk them through the area that we're looking at using. I want him to be able to use the senior center to get dressed. They have 7 male singers and 1 female.
Okay.
After they're all in their own bathrooms, but. Oh, yes, yeah. So, then I've got 1 food cart, for sure, barbecue. And, I'll hear tonight on my other one. And that's our Mexican food part. No,
No.
no.
Okay.
Then do we do anything with the food places that are there?
We don't want to park, anybody park in front of them.
Well, no, I mean,
But they're
encourage them to do something
They'll be-
special.
Whatever, people will be walking. That's one thing we do have to talk about is parking. But we have not, I guess people will just park around town.
Yeah, it's just a 2-block closure.
Yeah. Yes. There, we talked about signing and, reader boards.
Cause that band will bring, that band will.
Yes,
bring
that
a lot.
band, we had approximately 600 people at, the ice cream social last year. Plus then they have the ice cream too.
Right, and then
Sure.
now you got Tommy window.
Right. Right, so, yeah,
It's good ice cream too. So,
So we want
it's
to
gonna work.
talk to,
I have no idea.
is the bank that does the parking also commercial?
No. The NBA doesn't. The NBA doesn't.
Is it possible that we need to think about active parking there?
We could, do you know anything on that piece of property?
I know who owns it, the builders. Yeah,
I mean, do we wanna, I think we're gonna need parking.
I mean, we're gonna ask them if there's no development going in,
Right.
we'll ask them for Garlic Festival parking for sure.
Right.
And, but I just, I've worked with them for 2 years now, and I know they're always hopeful of whatever they're going to do is gonna happen soon. And so they put me off and say, contact me the end of June. So I can reach out to them
I
and,
think now for a June one would be able.
Yeah. I know they were doing something down there. I see dirt that's been disrupted.
they're doing
So,
some like test pits,
Yeah.
geotech.
We can always do the golf cart and let people park through destination. And we can run the golf cart back and forth for the next year. I don't know.
Are people allowed to drink from there at the concert?
Maybe have to open it up.
Yeah.
Like you do for the Garlic Festival.
No,
we're not doing alcohol, are we?
I'm just thinking if we've got the couple bars there, we've got the wine.
Well, I
Has
don't
to stay in the
know,
building.
but, the bars, they're not allowed to bring their alcohol out. past their-
They can if they get the permits to
Well,
do
they-
so, yeah,
But
but
they-
then we would have to have monitored closure
Absolutely.
stations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a lot of work. That is,
Okay, I'm just
I
bringing.
mean, they can sit out in their own little area, but
yeah, they could also, yeah, they could do a little
have to have a fenced
Roped off
area, you have to
beer
have
garden
a
themselves.
fee.
Lynn did that one year, I think, right? She did all that, or
Uh,
something.
She had drinking out there. Did she have an OLCC permit to go out there? No, she did not.
Okay,
Was you fenced off a front area?
this was before my time. I don't know if she did, yeah.
Well, they each have a fenced off outside
They
area.
do. They do.
It's just not out in front.
Right.
One of them's on
Which we
off
don't
of
want it
Main
out
and
in front Anyway.
Yeah.
We don't want vehicles. That's
Right.
why we're gonna close the road off early because we don't wanna have to be towing vehicles off that road. And I'm not gonna have,
Yeah.
then putting up a stage and then, band members, trying to set things up and have, our old buddy Todd driving
Yeah,
through.
and that'll be a good thing to mention, like at the chamber meeting tomorrow
Oh,
too, is for all the industrial,
Oh, yeah,
that day, route outside of town,
right.
make it a trend.
I'll
Maybe you'll
definitely-
like it. Maybe
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
like it. Yeah, yep.
Get that all together. No, time that there will be no parking down there at all. That's it's too dangerous to. No, from Maine to 313. I think the fire department will go out the back. I've already emailed Ken Pond on the her paperwork that she does for special events. And, that.
So, but truck, where are, do we have certain roads we recommend they take?
They don't take Hillcrest, they can go down to Gershom. They can go north and come around, come up Main and.
They know that, do not worry.
No, we'll let the businesses know that they need to. And we'd like to put notices out a week before saying there is an event, this road is going to be closed, detour.
I've seen sometimes they need to response.
Right.
Okay.
Anything else on that one? Yep. All right, board and staff comments. Done.
Just, I think the playground out there was wonderful. I like the way it, I haven't seen it done before where they put the black matting down and then they put the turf over it. It's really nice.
Hey, well, I think I don't know if they want to do the rest of that, but.
So, Doug is gonna bring down his long, magnetic.
Yeah.
Because we found, Sunday after the craft feed, and that was just right on the edge. 7 of the box cutter blades, yeah, out there. Don't let your grandkids go out there until that place has been
I'll
inspected.
come sleep with my bag.
I asked them.
Yeah, they should have been putting that into a container every time they made a cut, change the razor blade or. What worries me is that some of it's not underneath the turf.
I would have used that in like say, for liability's sake, that's their obligation.
I'm gonna do it first.
Yeah, they're not done. Yeah.
Right.
Just let's let them finish up and that'll be part of the process. Like all the meltdown, anything they've done that's already broken, they gotta fix everything. So they give me a date of 4:15 is when they're done. Yeah, but I'll make a note for them to, 4:15 is when they're looking at, yep. Because they just got the permit to do the shelter from Washington County. That took 4 months to finally get. So they're ready to start busting on that. And I'm a little warm, nicer weather weekend. They just started the electrical a couple of days ago, so that's not done either. Yeah. Do you need it by a certain date? Yeah, you'll have it by then.
Just,
Yeah.
I can't see a box like the rest of the area.
It's on the plans. It's on the plans. They'll be there.
Somebody asked me on the pickleball issue, do we have the pickleball nets then come and they're movable or they're,
I don't have them yet. No.
but we'll have.
But we will.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't determined that yet, if we're gonna buy 4 sets or just buy one or just let the community bring theirs like a lot of parks do. I don't know. We could,
People I talk to, it's a big deal. Like the centers I've been at, they have it. I mean, I think it's in terms of the goal to get people playing,
mhm.
a lot of people I know do not have.
What's Silsbrook do? Because don't you have a friend that
Mhm.
works with the 53rd?
Both. Both.
Have both?
My in-laws live near a big park in Portland that people bring their own stuff there and Hillsborough is gonna do both. They do like Tuesday and Friday nights and they keep everything in a big rock box. So I thought about probably getting one of those. I don't know, Zach nodding, you might have some good ideas there. So I thought we could buy a few sets, keep them out. And if people are respectful, great, we'll leave them there. If people destroy them, all right, bring your own, like we've replaced so many tennis nets and stuff throughout the years and it has to look like a prison there now. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, or
That's what I think.
yeah, or you just like just bring in a little stand. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna do what Hillsborough did. They've got this nice locked box. It just goes in the corner of the court and you can store like 4 sets in there. So something like that. And the nets just fold down and you dig them out. They got a little stand they can sit on. So something like
I
that.
think that would be, people are excited.
The nets we can do, paddles and everything. There's no way we're ever gonna get, yeah. Those are, yeah,
If you notice the striping in the parking lot, straight away.
I did. That's what I was saying earlier. They have to repair all that stuff. They know it. When they applied that, it was probably 30 degrees outside. I saw it when they were doing it. I was like, you guys don't have to be doing this now because it's not gonna last. And that's what happened.
So I have a question about the nest and stuff. Would you just designate the begin with certain days are gonna be pickleball days?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, I think so, especially especially if we're gonna keep them in a box
Yeah.
locked.
You always just unlock one of those days, they can take them out, use them, or.
Yeah.
is that about how-
Yeah, or, an evening, you get the nice long nights and, by 8 o'clock. I'd like to find a community
I
member
agree.
that's trustworthy, that wants to be like the pickleboard person,
We live close.
and we can work with them.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've got, how many tennis courts, just one or two?
One tennis court, and it'll be striped for 4. It is striped for 4 pickleball courts.
So one person plays pickleball.
Yeah,
One person plays tennis, no pickleball.
yeah. Yeah, that's how it,
So, that's what I was asking about. specifically.
yeah, so that's like in Hillsborough, they got 4 tennis courts there, but 8 pickleball courts on certain nights, So 2 nights a week, it's pickleball, all the other nights per week, it's tennis your heart out.
I've only seen 2 people, I think, there's these 2 regular people that play tennis. I don't
At like
know.
9 in the morning or 10 in the morning or noon, or,
you
yeah.
just have to work with them, otherwise you should be playing that.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's good. That's-
Okay, anything else, Don?
This is a total aside, I mean, I talked to Andy about this a little, but, I know. My daughter-in-law and a friend of hers are North Plains people, the one that's a teacher at the, West Union Elementary School. And they've really got into line dance, and they have 50 to 70 every single week for line dance. They need a place to do it now. And they wondered if they could use Jesse May. So my question was, if we would ever want to help sponsor it or something, to kind of keep their costs down, with the idea that it's really, I think it's kind of neat, it's a lot of recreation, which is our goal. Wouldn't necessarily be much cost to us, they just don't have a huge budget. They have a woman who runs it, who's some national line dancer. Anyway, it just seemed like kind of a wholesome, with it kind of group.
Hey,
Pardon? She hasn't been accepting anything, but we're trying to figure a way to just give her something. What they have tended to do is people make like $5.
how often do they do it?
They've been trying to do it every Thursday. Every week. Anyway, they just seem like kind of a nice group that.
I mean, this stays up all the time, right? So it'd just be half of the building, but if they want to use the building.
It's not up all the time, but it just kind of depends on what's happening. The less we have to take it down, the better.
Maybe an easy group,
Yeah.
they're very organized, several of them do all the take up, clean up, just what would be a fair amount to charge. And I think we should charge them something, because somebody's gonna. Dust off the floor or whatever, I mean, they would do some of that, but.
Yeah. Yes, they clean it after they're done.
They would be willing, I mean, again, the ones I know are very responsible, they do something.
I think they should talk to the city about that, what opportunities may be available. Yeah, well, I think it's already,
Yeah,
Pardon?
that's right, place to start.
yeah, we did. Don and I actually emailed on this before.
I'm at.
Yeah.
They originally were thinking about going to the library. Pardon? Not really blind into the library, well, no, I mean, the library is not with all kinds of records.
Yeah.
So it's kind of up there now. We can see.
Do they want to do it outside during the summertime?
I mean, I was just working with it, it'd be a fun thing at some point to do a Saturday line dancing for all ages. Line dancing,
I was thinking about the courts out here, or there's a basketball court down there, but during the summertime, if they want to do it outside.
yeah, I mean, you just have to see, again, I just thought it was an option, maybe the Parks and Rec can say we sponsor the activity with that meetings. I don't know. Is there the fee schedule, at least that I read, is a little confusing for repeater events. Said something like $50.
We can pick back up this conversation, Don. I was confused because you said, I gotta figure out, not interested anymore. And okay, great, that one's off my plate. And now it sounds like it's back on. So just let's chat about it.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
basic question though, is for any energy you even want to help, something like that. I like the concept of it. Yeah. I mean, one way to do it would be to just do it on just say we're gonna give you whatever 2 months and just see if it works.
That's what, if anything you wanna try, is do a trial thing and see how it works out, like, on both sides.
Yeah, we can rent a building. Like I said, I just, based on some emails, it kind of dropped, but it sounds like it's back. So, yeah.
Yeah, so but I'm just loving it.
For interest, yeah.
Okay.
Get your line boots. Don't scuff.
You know how to line up.
I'm sure I did in college or something.
Yeah.
Didn't end up with a date, so that's probably it,
All right, thank you, Don. Okay, do you have anything else you guys want to? Yeah. You first, talk loud.
I just wanted to say thank you for being here. Thank you. I feel like this is one of those many roles where it's behind the scenes and there's so much that goes into playing all the events. I just want to say thank you. It brings so much joy just on myself and the American. I just want to say thank you, Bill. And I just have one follow-up question. I definitely hear Don's comment about wanting to be more inclusive to the board. But I also hear the other argument, let's focus on the members we have right now. And I was just curious, what is the attendance policy, right? That they miss two
There's
consecutive
no
meetings.
policy, but it talked about, you're mentioning that a couple more were kind of just not showing up. And I think that we move on that. Before we post it. We can't do that. We need that.
Yeah, there's no policy in place for this board. There is for council, obviously, but there
And I
is.
wouldn't mind if someone's sick or you're out of town, you let us know ahead of time, but this is
Still communication.
there's just.
Yeah, and I want to be mindful of everyone else's time, right? And balancing that workload. I don't know, something maybe on the future agenda for this board, but I think the other part is just seeing new faces wanting to apply. And I really, really appreciate that coming to tonight's meeting, just to put a face to the name. And this might be outside of my wheelhouse, but really making that suggestion that if someone would like to apply for a board, that there needs to be an in-person or Zoom meeting. And some sort of official policy for attendance. I hear all of your sentiments, and I would be frustrated too.
That's a good idea.
If we create our own rules, we have to go through something.
I don't think, I think we can go ahead and establish what we want to do.
It has to be approved by council because it's in the
For
charter.
attendance, I am sure there's enough in there to say 3
Just
unexcused
go by
absences.
what the council does.
Yeah, I mean, my experience on many boards and committees is people don't make it and we call it excuse when frankly, they just don't show up, So you want to enforce it, force away, my personal opinion. And yes, to Councilor Papen's point, we put a lot of money in all this stuff in here. We do this every single public meeting we have, doing all this Zoom stuff to make it easier for people to participate. And if they don't, it's kind of a waste of my time and Lori's. And it makes meetings and all that stuff easier if we didn't have to do this, but we do it to try to encourage people. Yeah. So I'd say if you guys have something that works for you, a little policy, do it. And it's your board.
That'll be a subject for next meeting. Also, then, about
Is that three? Yeah, I see 3 in a row.
I was would say during the year.
And that is unexcused or just not knowing?
The stuff I was part of, we would say, if you find you can't make a certain number of meetings a year, it's just not working for you to be there, it's not your fault. You're too busy, it just doesn't work, you need you there. Whatever you need. Right.
Because if they're there, if they miss two, you're waiting for that third and they show up.
I don't care if two, because you're talking, three, you're talking. Think about it, we'll talk about it, like, the beginning, our next month. I don't think that might be.
We'll search the minutes.
Email went to the apartment folder, that didn't have a reminder. I don't know why it does that.
You're almost always here, I know.
That makes me feel so good, Evan. I work really hard to send those emails out and you have it go to your junk mail.
Why, I wrote it multiple times, late, and for some reason, decided, like, you know what, you don't need this email, I'm just gonna throw the dark one for you. But now that I moved it back into the main one, it's come back in the main one again. Technology is.
The only thing I'll mention is we did a community survey at the end of the year, asking folks, satisfaction, what do you like, what don't you like, what can we improve upon, what are some priorities for the next 5 years? And a few of those things we're doing, people want more sidewalks, so we'll be building more sidewalks this summer, but one of the other top 3 or 4 was people do want parks and recreation opportunities. So I'm really pleased that discussions like tonight are kind of helping us move that direction. So that's great.
We ever talk more when we have more time just on sidewalks and what we kind of envision and because I know you've already got a bunch of them planned for the summer, right?
Mhm.
Because the other area, something I was interested in, I love this part of the course, but it seems like we've got. I don't think the end side of it, so they're over the ground, this whole area.
I mean, this summer,
Jesse,
Yeah.
we're starting.
we have to wait for the garlic festival to be over, of course. Our schedule runs around that, but when it's over, this park will be, the perimeter will be sidewalks. We'll have 2 over there by Evans on 309th leading to the Bryn Hill development, and on 311th leading to downtown. So there'll be nice walking corridors between North and Commercial for here.
Are you talking down in front of Stewart's house, giving a sidewalk?
Down on 309. Mhm. There's other people that live in that street. Yep. And there's other,
Really, you say more house. Again.
yeah. No, it's really for the 500 that are going over here. It's for them to have a safer passageway. Which burn? I not to my knowledge. Yeah.
I have a question, just talking about, in general, about sidewalks and the road improvement that's happening on North and stuff there too.
Mhm.
Are they gonna keep that crosswalk that's still there?
On 309?
No, on North Avenue. It goes, 309 going across.
Yeah, that'll remain.
They'll stay there.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and then we'll have another one across from the school when that phase goes in, and I think we're gonna put one on 313th, because that's kind of a long stretch, really, when you think about it. It's one of the longer stretches of road we have in town. That's
I have a hard time seeing the one Main Street when I'm heading that way.
the beacon, because we took it out. We took it out. It's gone now. Yeah, now that we have a stop sign there, it's gone. Yeah,
The stop sign, I can't see it.
even though it's blinking.
Yeah, because there's vehicles that park.
Yeah.
there.
That's temporary. We're actually gonna do an intersection improvement there
Oh, okay.
later this year too.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So those things are,
I love the idea of the stop sign.
yeah, those things are temporary. We're gonna do a little bit of a bulb out, nothing crazy, but so the intersection is gonna come out a little bit,
That's a good idea.
and we have to do that because of that visibility issue.
Right.
Yeah,
You mentioned the sidewalk on Glencoe heading down the north, is that? Problematic for the railroad track?
yep, that'll be another one too. Yeah, working with the railroad to do anything in the right of way is just for their engineer to review the plans is gonna be about $80,000. So we're gonna put people onto the road a little bit. We'll have some candlestick buffers, but that'll be the temporary solution. Otherwise, it just this year, that'll be one of the first projects. We're gonna do that and then sidewalks on commercial street. Yeah. No. No, they don't. They have a company that they farm out their development plan reviews for. And the guy's like, yep, just send me a check for 80,000 and I'll review this stuff. We're like, just forget it, man. We just won't go in your right away then. So, yeah.
Okay. Our next meeting, April 10th. And, for the meeting at, 7:26. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.